Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and for the second straight week, I'm joined by Shane Green for his tips on the meeting here in Darwin, where he'll call a meeting for the second straight week. Greenie?
Yeah, thank you, Andrew, and really good meeting last Saturday, and very much looking forward to the meeting upcoming Saturday. Of course, not only will the Northern Territory interest focus here in Darwin, but of course Brendan Davis is heading down to Caulfield to partner Palmerston Sprint winner Captain Punch, and Raymond Viger's heading off to Adelaide, Andrew, to partner Desert Lashes down there at Morfordville.
Fantastic to see our good top-end horses, or good territory horses, Greenie, racing interstate. Unfortunately, as you pointed out a little while ago, they're both drawn very awkwardly, but if they can overcome those bad draws, we certainly hope that they'll give their connections a really good run for their money. Yeah,
I think Captain Punch drew 16, Andrew, at Caulfield, and Desert Lashes unfortunately drew 15 at Morfordville, but good horses, good riders, and anything can happen.
Absolutely, we wish them all the best. Another handy card of racing, awaits us in Darwin this weekend, with 40 acceptors in the 5 races and some nice horses going around, including 3 from the recent Magic Millions Tried horse sale held at Carnival time. So looking forward to seeing those horses step out on Saturday. In the first, over 1,100 metres my numbers are 7, 1, 3 and 6. It's the Darwin Corporate Park Handicap. It's for the 0 to 64 gallopers. I've got number 7 on top here, Wicked Affair, from the informed Phil Cole stable. Jared Todd, well rested after his recent little sojourn in Bali. Good run the other day behind Needy Rocket. That was 3 weeks ago. Needy Rocket's come out and won again since, so that's pretty good form for mine. Number 7 on top, ahead of 1 Purdue. Carl Spry trains and rides. Good run the other day behind Mulk. In for third, number 3, Annabella. Has had a little freshen up for Bob Richard, and Felicia Bergstrand, as she always does, takes the mount. And my 4th selection, number 6, Ominous Warning. 7, 1, 3 and 6 in the first. Greenie, what do you like?
Well, Andrew, I've gone 1, 7, 2 and 5. I like this top weight Purdue with Carl Spry. Only had the 2 Darwin runs, made significant improvement from the first run to the second. And I think with just a little more improvement, it might be really hard to beat. So much so I've made it my best bet of the day. Number 1, Purdue, to beat the consistent Wicked Affair, number 7. Divine Red I've thrown in for third, having its first run here. I believe one of the horses that came from that sale has ended up with Gary Clark. And Jolly Boy, I've always been a Jolly Boy fan. He's a tough, durable, hardy fellow, and I think he'll run well despite having a trip over to the west recently. Won my best bet of the day, Thule over 7, 2 and 5.
We move to the second now, Greenie, the Elora Gardens Nursery Handicap. It's for the 0 to 58 gallopers. It's over the 1,000 metres. My numbers here, 3, 2, 4 and 1. Going here with number 3, Wawrinka. Gary Lafoe Jr., the trainer. Carl Spry gets the mount this weekend. And I think judged on that good third to Needy Rocket just a week ago, Wawrinka gets his a chance to put the foot right on the till. 3 on top for me, ahead of number 2, Edge of Chaos. Consistent galloper for Phil Cole. Mel Tyndall, great to see Mel having a few rides here on Saturday. I've put it in for second. In for third, number 4, the newcomer Isle of Light, trained by Ange Forster. And Stan Sakos takes the mount here. And in for fourth, number 1, Tregoric. 3, 2, 4 and 1. Greenie, what do you like in the second?
Yeah, pretty much the same, Andrew. I've gone 3, 1, 2 and 4. I thought Wawrinka was really impressive. It led last Saturday in Needy Rocket's race, and if it can find the lead here, I don't think this is quite as strong, and I think it'll take a power of beating. 3, Wawrinka to beat 1, Tregoric, who's first up from a spell. I think it'll run really well fresh. Edge of Chaos is a handy horse by Nakoni. They love the dirt. I think it'll run well, and you touched on Mel Tyndall. It's great to see Mel back riding, and she's been a long-time supporter of my stable when I was training, and I hope she can have a really good day. And you mentioned Isle of Light with the Ange Foster stable. I think it can run well. 3, Wawrinka over 1, Tregoric, 2, Edge of Chaos, and 4, Isle of Light.
We move to the third, the Designer Kitchens Handicap for the 0 to 58 gallopers, this time over the 1,300. And my numbers here, 2, 8, 1 and 4. Going with the newcomer to Darwin Racing, Taciturn, number 2. Carl Spry rides for Gary Clark. This one has done most of its racing in Victoria. Last started at Bendigo in a high weight, would you believe, on the 22nd of July. But not the strongest field, this one, and I thought that first up here in the top end could get the chocolates. 2 on top for me, ahead of number 8, Dream Passenger. Tayan Holter and Wayne Davis combine here. Hasn't been racing bad and finished 6th behind Needy Rocket the other day. As I mentioned earlier, I think he's a pretty smart horse, and that's a pretty good form race for this type of event. In for third, number 1, On Your Way. 2 starts back was really good during the carnival. A little disappointing last time out, but prepared to allow it another chance in my 4th selection, number 4, Lucky Leslie. 2, 8, 1 and 4. Greenie, race 3.
Yeah, not the easiest race, Andrew. I've settled on the top weight On Your Way for Jason and Vanessa. I liked its run behind Perpetual Bliss 2 back, and it was a last start failure, but it's not a strong race, and if it can land in the right spot, I think it's got as much ability as any of them. Taciturn, former Victorian with Gary Clark, have to respect it just being in the Clark stable alone. I think Ombramani, another one that's been freshened up, can run well, and 4, Lucky Leslie, been behind the place getters but not beaten too far. I think On Your Way is probably my best roughie, so number 1 on top over 2, 5 and 4.
We're getting through them, Greenie. Race 4 next, the Carlton United Breweries Handicap. It's the highest grade race of the day, the benchmark 76. It's over the 1,200 metres, a field of 6 to face the starter here. And my numbers 3, 1, 2 and 4. Going with number 3 here, one of 2 trained by Gary Clark in the event, Harmonium Bells. Jared Todd takes the mount here. She's a pretty handy mare on her day. Won the Red Centre Classic, no, the Queen of the Desert rather, in Alice Springs during the carnival. And on her day, as I mentioned, she's pretty handy. Her last start behind Brooklyn I thought was good. Over 1,000 metres, the step up to 1,200 should suit. 3 on top for me, ahead of number 1, I Am the Fox. Did a really good job winning last week. He's better known over more ground than he won last week over 1,100. The step to the 1,200 won't hurt him, but he may be a little bit dour this week. That's what I'm banking on anyway. Michelle Hagley for Craig Conran. In for 3rd, number 3, Metallic Crown. The stablemate of Harmonium Bells, my 4th selection, number 4. The newcomer, the Sale Horse Federal Court. 3, 1, 2 and 4. Tricky little race, Greenie, race 4.
Yeah, it is, Andrew, and I'm prepared to give Colzine, number 5, another chance. He was one of 3 horses involved in that real tough speed duel last Saturday. Tuscarora, Colzine and the captain just went at each other, and I Am the Fox got a really soft run in behind them, and he was able to get home right over the top, but I don't think there's as much speed there. Colzine's drawn the outside gate, and I can just see him landing over on the rail after about 100 metres. If he does that, I think he'll be really hard to beat. 3, Harmonium Bells is a very consistent and good quality galloper. I've put it in to run 2nd. I Am the Fox, the top weight, will again be working home really strongly at the end. And just on I Am the Fox, gee, Andrew, that Michelle Hagley rides very well.
She certainly does. She's had a great run lately, Michelle. 2 last week and 4 the week before in the West. And I understand she may well be making camp in Alice Springs shortly, so she'll be a real asset to the Red Centre.
Yeah, I hadn't seen much of Michelle. She did mention to me late last week that she did head to Alice Springs in about October last year and had a few rides. And I obviously left there in November, so I haven't seen a lot of her, but I was very impressed. She was particularly good on Windfolder in the last week, had him out 3 wide and just kept him rolling, kept him happy. It was really good. Anyway, back to race 4. I've gone 5 Colzine, 3 Harmonium Bells, 1 I Am the Fox. I put Metallic Crown number 2 in for 4th, and I do agree, Andrew, the interesting horse is the former Adelaide Galloper Federal Court. He's first up this afternoon. Any market moves, I'd be very wary of him, but you can't tip them all, Tooley.
You cannot, Greenie.
5, 3, 1 and 2 in race 4.
And we move to the last. It's the Magic Millions handicap for the Class 2 gallopers, 1,200 metres. And a really tough race to end the card, I found. I've gone 6, 2, 3 and 7. 6 on top for me, Taipei Dancer. 3 starts so far in the top end for Jason Manning and Vanessa Arnott. A win at Catherine and 2 good 3rd placings, including the other day behind Lady Alcatraz. That was 3 weeks ago. I see no reason she can't be very hard to beat again. 6 on top for me. Ahead of 2 Sabai. Don't know what happened the other day. She's far better than she showed when beaten here on the 1st of September. She only has to reproduce her best form of the carnival to be very hard to beat. Wayne Davis for Kerry Petrick. In for 3rd, number 3, Rocheville, a newcomer, a Sale Horse. Carl Spry trains and rides. Interesting runner. And 4th selection, last week's maiden winner, Our Great Northern. Jared Todd and Phil Cole, the combo, obviously a bit tougher this week. 6, 2, 3 and 7. Tough one to end the day, Shane.
Yeah, it is, Andrew. I've gone with Sabai despite the last start failure. His form prior to that was very good, and I do like the fact that it's 3 weeks between runs, and don't worry about Kerry Petrick for a long, long time. Kerry's been a very, very good horse trainer, and she'll have worked out the reason for Sabai's last start failure, and I think you'll see the best of it on Saturday afternoon. 2 Sabai over the very consistent Taipei Dancer, number 6. 7 Our Great Northern broke its maiden status last week. I think it can race really well. And Bon Air coming back from 1600, but it did hit the line well last Saturday. I've put it in to run fourth. 2 Sabai Sabai over 6 Taipei Dancer, 7 Our Great Northern, and 4 Bon Air.
Very good. My best bet in Darwin this Saturday comes up in race 2, number 3, Wawrinka. Race 2, number 3, Wawrinka gets an ideal opportunity to break through, in my opinion, while the best roughie comes up in the last. Race 5, number 3, the newcomer, Rocheville. Race 5, number 3, Rocheville. Greenie, what's your thoughts on a best bet and a best roughie?
Well, Andrew, I'm going to work around the top weights on Saturday. I think in the first, number 1, Purdue, you'll see the best of him. I believe Carl will have him right at his peak. He's my best. And in race 3, I'm keen on the chances of number 1, and that is On Your Way. It is my best roughie.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk, and a big thank you to Shane Green for his thoughts on the weekend's racing. And we wish Shane all the best for his future endeavours after he calls his last meeting in the Top End at Winnelli Park on Sunday night. In the meantime, good luck and good punting.